What's going on, everyone? This is Jamel Jones, the founder and creator of New Realm Digital Marketing. In this video, I want to talk about how you can use New Realm's automated CRM to fire your virtual assistant. Now, I know that in the real estate world, especially in wholesaling, that a lot of people recommend, getting a VA. VAs handle, all of the tedious tasks in your real estate wholesaling business, right? So I took the liberty of searching for like the actual tasks that VAs do. Now, if you have an established business and your ROI on using your VAs makes sense, like you're making money, more money than what you're paying your VAs, then by all means, keep it going. So this video is mainly for people who are not making a whole bunch of money right now, but everybody's telling them you need to hire a VA, you need to hire a VA, you need to hire a VA. If you are just getting started or you're closing less than a deal a month, you don't need a VA. So let's look at this blog post I found. Tasks for your virtual assistant. You may find yourself overwhelmed with a bunch of busy tasks, but still not know which ones you can hand over to a VA to take care of. So I've compiled a list of various tasks that many virtual assistant does for me, maybe blah, 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 blah. So the first one is performs quick CMA and full CMA reports. Now, if you're not aware, CMA is a comparable market analysis. It is basically comps. If you're a real estate agent, and this is for real estate agents also, if you're a real estate agent, then you know exactly what this is, but it's running your comps for you. I'm going to post a link in the description of a software that does this for you. So that's one out the door. My software doesn't do this. New Round doesn't do this yet, but that's one out the door. You probably already have the software, just don't know that you can do that with it. Text message follow up, missed calls, Google Voice, blah blah blah. New Realm does all of that. My CRM actually has follow up campaigns. What else? Follow up workflows, nurturing schedules, a whole bunch of other things. And this is all pre built for you, right? And if it isn't pre-built for you, it takes literally the intelligence of a 6-year-old to be able to figure the system out to build these things out for yourself, right? So that's 2 down. Researches and prepares mailing lists, unsafe structures, delinquent taxes, probates. This is a task that I don't send direct mail unless I absolutely need to. I have a system where I go through different forms of marketing, and direct mail is at the bottom of the list. So by the time it gets down there, there's very few people that need to be contacted via direct mail. But this is basically list building, right? I do this myself just because I want to be involved in my business doing something. And it takes literally like an hour, right? Update website with status of sold properties and pending and sold. This is more so for a realtor. That's something that can be done manually yourself without having to pay a VA. And I've seen these days, I know 4 or 5 years ago, you could get a VA for $2 an hour. Now they're not going for less than $5 or $6 an hour. And the problem with VAs, and I'm not talking about all VAs, but the problem with VAs is over the past few years, there's been an influx in wholesalers, real estate investors. Like everybody and they mom, everybody and their grandma is a wholesaler now, right? So I liken virtual assistants to sharks in the water that smell blood. So all of a sudden, all of these virtual assistants from various different countries, I'm not just talking about people, any specific people, but all of a sudden, all of these people have 7 years of virtual assistant experience, 10 years of virtual assistant experience, and blah, 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 blah. And some of them might be honest about their experience, but the question I ask myself with them is, if you have that much experience, why do you not have any work in the first place? Right? And the second question I ask myself is, if you have 10 years of virtual experience with real estate investors and real estate agents in the United States, meaning that you've been dealing with English speaking people for a decade now, why, for a lot of people anyway, not everybody, your accent is still super heavy? This is just things that I pick up on when when I'm having conversations with these people. Your accent can not possibly be as heavy as it is if you've been doing this for 10 years. If it is, that means one or two things. You've not cared about your job enough to correct your accent over time, or you've not been actually doing your job that like you say you have. Because it's impossible that you're speaking to English speaking people in America, and this is your job, this is your profession, this is what you do, and you haven't been working on your accent. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what I take from that. So immediately when I'm speaking to a VA from whatever country they're from, I pay attention to their accent. If their accent is super heavy, but they're telling me they've been doing this for 10 years, like that raises a flag for me. Anyway, you can do this yourself. Confirms that Google numbers are working properly. Like that's you can do that yourself. Prepare contracts and amendments. I don't leave. That's my name. My name is going on the contracts. My name's going on the agreements. I do that. That's me. At some point, I'll find someone that I trust enough to do that. But at this point in my business, like I'm not handing that over to anyone. And all of these things, like all of these things that I'm saying that you can do yourself, all of these things literally take at the most 10 hours a week to do these things. So it's not like you sitting at a computer for 20 hours a day doing these things. These are very, very, very minimal tasks to do. If you know what you're doing, if you know what list you're going after, it takes you 45 minutes to pull a list, right? If you are doing your proper KPIs and stuff, and you know who you have gotten in touch with and who you haven't gotten in touch with, it takes almost no time to prepare a mailing list. That's already done for you in New Realm. With the flow that we have, at the end of the week, it shows you exactly who you did not get in contact with via New Realm CRM. So that's your list for mailing right there, right? Updates websites and status. That's literally just your job. That's your job, but that can also be automated using New Realm and a Zapier task. I keeps track of letters of intent via MLS offer tracking sheet that can be automated via Zaps, or it can be done manually. Again, it takes no time. Handles letters to probate, that could be automated. Tracks marketing campaigns, obviously, that's literally what this is. It'll tell you how many people responded right here. Let's scroll down. It'll tell you the percentage of people responded, how many people actually replied, how many total are in the campaign, how many are active, how many have been completed. And yeah, it's like you can. And then even inside of, let me see if this one, I don't know if I use this one or not. No, so, but once this campaign, let's say you were using this campaign, you sent it out to 1,000 people, it will have the KPI metrics like right over here. It'll tell you how many messages you sent, how many bounced, meaning there was a bogus number, how many people responded, and all of those things. So that's keeping track of your marketing campaigns right there. Ordering yellow letter marketing campaigns is the same thing as preparing mailing lists, in my opinion. Now, this section right here says, imagine yourself outsourcing all of these tasks, preparing and organizing closings. I'll do that myself, or with an in-house team member. Excuse me. Sends SMS message blasts to SMS subscribers. Like that's literally what this is. Adds new subscribers, buyers. You can automate that process with New Realm as well. One little trick that I like to use is if you're a real estate agent, for example, and this is some free game for you, just create a landing page, which you can do using New Realm CRM. Create a landing page and send a create a landing page stating that you have a list of properties for sale under a certain amount of money, and just shoot that out to people, and they sign up because they want the list. They subscribe to your newsletter or whatever your landing page says because they want that list, and now boom, you just automated the entire new subscribers, new buyers process. And you can have tags and triggers and everything set up to notify you when you got these things. You can have automation set up to keep these people organized inside of your pipelines, and just everything. You can literally automate all of this stuff if you know what you're doing, or I could do it for you, right? So process front end contracts, that's something that should not be automated. So unless you have someone in-house, you be doing that yourself. Order title work, that's something, again, that shouldn't be automated, but honestly, this can be automated as well. So as soon as you get an agreement signed over here inside the New Realm, you can move it over to this pipeline stage right here, under contract, marketing contract. So as soon as you move it over to this stage, you can have an automation set up to email the agreement that you have, as well as any other information that you need, to whatever preferred title company that you're using. And that can all be automated as well. As simple as moving a card from one spot to the next. And then that automation would trigger. Add properties to a website. That cannot be automated, but it takes seconds, literally. Add properties to the MLS. I'm not too familiar with using the actual MLS. I have third-party softwares that have direct access to the MLS. So that one, I'm gonna leave a question mark on that one. Update CRM. All of my automations inside of my system automatically updates. And the most I do is either click on this person and add a tag to their name, like add it to workflow, incoming message, or whatever, and it does everything it's supposed to do. Or, for example, let's go over here. This is when I'm cold calling, right? So when I'm cold calling people, I have all of these different things of information that you need to know to determine whether or not it's a viable deal. So while I'm on the phone with them, if I'm cold calling, while I'm on the phone with them, I can update all these things in real time. But that's just cold calling. If I'm doing manual, not manual, but automated marketing, automated SMS and emails, I have built out inside of this system. It took me well over a year to build this out. I've built out a system inside of my New Realm CRM that literally holds conversations with sellers. It can do the entire job of a virtual assistant, right? And when I tell a lot of people that, like, they don't believe me, but I'm real about what I do. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time. Update CRM run Craigslist ads. That's something that you could do yourself. Coordinates closing with buyers and sellers. That is something that you can do yourself, but that is honestly something that your title company should be doing, right? Once you've got the seller off top, and once you find a buyer, you hand everything over to your title company. Like that's something the title company should be doing. Request HUDs prior to closing. That's something that you should be doing. Is more hands-on. Or if you have a lead specialist or a lead manager, they can be doing that. They can also do this as well, and this, right? So, and I wouldn't recommend, if you do hire a lead manager or a lead specialist, I would recommend that being someone in your circle, so to speak. You shouldn't trust everyone to handle important things like this. Me personally, I don't. So that's up to you though. Updates LMLS, that was up there. Same thing. Communicates with buyer regarding closing. That's a text message, literally a text message on your phone. And New Realm, we also have a mobile app so that you can, message people back and forth just from your phone while you're on the go. File paperwork to Dropbox. Again, we can set that up using Zaps, and there's also a database inside of New Realm where you can, keep all of that stuff. Should you let your VA negotiate with buyers and sellers? If you have a really good VA, one that actually knows what they're doing, then I would say, yeah, cool, why not, right? I know you guys probably peeped this over here a little bit earlier. This right here is an auto marketing sequence that this is the auto marketing sequence that I've been speaking about during this video. Holds complete conversations with sellers or buyers, depending on who you're pointing it at, and it gets them from initial contact over to either booking a call with you or whatever you want, whatever you choose, whatever's your next step after they say that they want to sell. Everybody that says that they don't want to sell, it automatically puts them in follow-up campaigns. It does all of that good stuff. This right here is something really special to me. I've been toying with this idea for, I'd say, probably about a year now, and so I'm actually getting it in place now. Essentially, the New Realm CRM will be able to actually negotiate prices on your behalf, fully automated, and make offers on your behalf. It's even going to be able to send out contracts to be signed and only notify you when they sign. So imagine this. Imagine you using both of these together. So initially you upload a list, you add it to the auto marketing sequence. It reaches out to people. Hey, Jamel, this is Jamel from whatever. Calling about 123 Main Street, blah, blah, blah. Are you interested in selling? Yeah. What's your offer? Then the auto offer kicks in, throws numbers at them based on the patent pending strategies that I've set up. Not strategies, but sequences that I've set up inside of the system that, man, I can't even get into it, but it will do that for you, right? So it'll throw an offer at them. If they accept the offer, the system will understand whether or not they've accepted it or declined it. If they've declined it, a lot of other things will happen. I can't go into as much detail as I want to, but I'm pretty sure you can hear it in my voice that I'm very, very excited about this. This is going to be something else. But just imagine taking that part off of your plate. Imagine not having to deal with that, not having to deal with any of that from initial contact of, hey, Mike, this is Jamel, are you interested in selling your house, all the way to them signing the contract. Imagine not having to do any of that. That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm building out. So anyway, to recap, a VA is good to have. It's even great to have if you have the right VA and they actually know what they're doing. But in my opinion, you can automate the majority of what the average VA does. You can automate all of that. You can automate the SMS, you can automate the follow-ups, you can even automate the cold calling in the form of voicemail drops. Right? You can automate all of this. And the parts that you can't automate will take you at the most 10 hours a week. If you don't have 10 hours a week to invest in your business, you could be sitting on the beach with your laptop on your lap, handling the tasks that you need to handle. Right? So if you don't have the time for that, then you probably don't need to own a business in the first place. You probably don't even need to be doing what you think that you're doing right now. And I'm just being brutally honest, right? I'm not saying this to piss anyone off or anything like that. But I just know that when I first got started, I was hiding behind VAs. I was hiding behind virtual assistants. And one year I spent over $25,000 on VAs because I did not want to do the business. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to send the messages. I didn't want to respond. I didn't want to get cursed out on the phone. I didn't want to do any of that. So I was hiding behind virtual assistants that had no idea what they were doing. I ended up spending over $25,000 on various virtual assistants over the course of 12 months. And I BS you not when I say this, I never got one good lead, let alone a deal. So I know how that is. I know how that feels. And so what I'm telling you is automate what you can, which is the bulk of the redundant tasks, like sending messages every day and follow-ups and stuff like that. You don't want to have to remember following up with somebody 6 months from now. Your VA is not going to even remember to follow up somebody 6 months from now. So why not put that in the automated sequence? You throw someone in a follow-up campaign 6 months. So 6 months later, it reaches out to them. Hey, Mike, this is Jamel. Remember we spoke about 123 Main Street about 5.5, 6 months ago? Yeah, I just wanted to reach out and let you know that I'm still interested in the property. If you need anything, help with anything, moving anything, I'm here. Just reach out to me. I actually just closed a deal a little while ago from a automated follow-up campaign. I never spoke to this person. The initial contact was sent out using my system. He indicated that he wasn't interested in selling, so it threw him in a follow-up campaign. Reached out to him 3 months later. He was interested in selling, so then I got notified. So I never talked to that person up until he was ready to sell. And that is what New Realm CRM does. That's what New Realm CRM can do for you and your business. So if you got a job, you can work your full-time job, but still market full-time in your wholesaling business or your real estate investment business or your real estate agent business, whatever business you have. You can still work your full-time job. You can still make those vacations with your kids. You can still go out to dinner with your wife. You can still do all these things while this system is working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And all you have to do is check in with it a few hours a week to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. And there you go. To me, it's way better than managing a VA. It's way better than managing anyone because it's a system. It does what you tell it to do. There's no attitude. There's no, it's working for 2 or 3 different people at the same time it's working for you. There's none of that. There's none of that. So anyway, video's already long enough, about 25 minutes. I'm going to cut it off here. If you are interested in speaking about anything that I spoke about in this video, there is a link below where you can book a call with me. If you have a system that has workflow and automation capabilities and you'd like to get something like that set up in your system, you do not have to transfer over to New Realm. I can most likely build for you whatever type of system you want. I specialize in automations. This is what I do. I can most likely build for you whatever you want inside of the system that you already have. So I've also got some freebies down below for wholesalers. I got a free ebook, a wholesale calculators down there in case you guys having problems coming up with offers for your sellers. And anyway, that's that. I probably talk too much, but I will see you guys in the next video.